You know that device you're watching this on right now? Well, every single second, it and billions of other devices just like it rely on something almost invisible, something incredibly simple, and yet unbelievably powerful. We're talking about the silent hero of electronics.
So what exactly is this tiny component, and why is it so critical that without it, pretty much all of modern technology would just stop working? Well, we're talking, of course, about the resistor.
To really get why resistors are so important, you first have to understand a basic truth about electricity. Left to its own devices, it doesn't really behave politely. It's a raw, powerful, and kind of unruly force. I mean, imagine trying to take a sip of water from a fire hose. That's basically what raw electricity is like for the delicate little components inside a circuit. Without some kind of control, that sheer flood of electrical current is just destructive. And you can see the difference right here. The safe level of current for a sensitive part, like a tiny LED, is minuscule. But an uncontrolled surge? Whoa! It can be thousands of times greater. That's not just powering the component, that's completely overloading it, burning it out, and maybe even destroying the entire device in a flash.
So how do we tame this chaos? How do you turn that electrical fire hose into a gentle, controlled stream that we can actually use? Well, you do it with an incredibly elegant and beautifully simple solution: the resistor.
At its very core, that's all a resistor is. It's like a gatekeeper. Its entire job is to resist the flow of electricity, slowing it down to a safe and usable level. It's the component that brings order to the chaos. Think of it this way. A circuit without a resistor is like a highway with no speed limit and no lanes, just pure chaos and inevitable crashes. The resistor acts like a speed bump. It forces the flow of traffic, or in this case the current, to slow down, creating an orderly, safe, and functional system.
But a resistor is so much more than just a simple speed bump. It actually has several specific, really critical missions that allow our electronics to work with such incredible precision.
These are its three core jobs. First, we've talked about limiting current to protect components. That's job one. But they also divide voltage, which is crucial for making sure different parts of a circuit get exactly the right amount of power. And third, they match something called impedance. You can think of impedance as a kind of electrical friction. If that's not matched up right, signals get distorted. That's what causes static in your audio or glitches in your data. Without these functions, precision electronics would be literally impossible. Now, not all jobs are the same, right? So you don't use the same tool for every task. Resistors come in a whole bunch of different forms, and each one is engineered for a very specific mission. For example, a super rugged carbon composition resistor is great for handling sudden bursts of energy. A metal film resistor, on the other hand, gives you incredible precision for sensitive circuits. The variable resistors, well, those are the knobs you turn to control volume or dim the lights. And then you have things like thermistors, which change their resistance with temperature, basically acting like tiny thermometers. Every single one is a specialist. So where are all these specialized little parts? Well, the answer couldn't be simpler. They are absolutely everywhere, hidden in plain sight inside every single piece of technology that you own. Seriously, just pick up your smartphone, look at your laptop, your TV, even your microwave. They are all jam-packed with hundreds, if not thousands, of these tiny resistors, each one just silently doing its job, making sure the devices we depend on every single day are safe, efficient, and reliable. And just like the technology they enable, resistors are always evolving. They've gone from being these bulky, basic components to the microscopic, hyper-efficient parts we use today. And the future? It's pointing toward even smarter, self-regulating, and more eco-friendly materials, always pushing what's possible. It just goes to show you, even as we're pushing the boundaries of technology with things like AI and quantum computing, all of that incredible progress is built on top of mastering the absolute fundamentals, like simply controlling the flow of a single electron. And that right there is the story of the resistor. It's not flashy, it's not super complex, but it is utterly essential. It's truly one of the most fundamental building blocks of the modern world. They're the ultimate unsung heroes. They don't get any of the glory, they never steal the spotlight, but make no mistake about it, without them, absolutely nothing works. So, next time you turn on a light or use your phone, just take a second to think about these silent guardians. They're everywhere. And that gets me curious. Where have you seen or used resistors? Maybe in a hobby project or a repair? Let me know down in the comments.